Welcome to enVisioning Success, the weekly podcast where Laura Di Benedetto and Julia Becker-Collins share tips, suggestions, and stories to help you succeed in business. In today's episode, we identify 5 strategies to use when your organization is finally ready to commit to internal or external marketing, including a pros and cons evaluation, needs assessments, experimental trial periods, and consultations with stakeholders. And now, here's Laura and Julia.
Hello. It's a pleasure to have you back. This is enVisioning Success. I'm your host, Laura, joined by my co-host, Julia. Today, we're going to be diving into the final story arc here of our month talking about agency or internal. Today, what we're going to be diving into is making the decision agency or internal. And we're going to help you to make the decision. We've given you a bunch of arguments for agencies, a bunch of arguments for internal, and we've also given you some data points to consider. We've tried to be fairly objective, even though we admit that we are biased. There is a lot to consider. So in this episode, we're going to try to keep this one short as well, try to really just make it really punchy and dive into what it's going to take to help you do it. The first tip is conducting a thorough needs assessment. Julia, can you explain that?
Yes, absolutely. So conducting a thorough needs assessment really does mean reevaluating your marketing needs. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. I know it seems obvious, but we don't like to make assumptions. So you're reevaluating your marketing needs, your budget, your long-term goals to determine the best fit for your company or organization. Last episode, we talked about 5 reasons why you should hire internally. Episode 38, we talked about 5 reasons why you should hire an agency. If you haven't listened to those episodes, I highly recommend you go back and do so, because those are really easy checklists to figure out how to make this next step. And then you can do that thorough needs assessment.
Totally agree. That was great. Thank you. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You don't have to overthink it. At the end of the day, if you can just get your ducks in a row, honestly, just listening to these episodes should give you enough of an indication of what direction you want to go in. And if not, point number 2 is going to come in handy. Julia, what's that one?
Pros and cons list. We love a pros and cons list.
Mm-hmm.
Create a detailed list of advantages and disadvantages for both options, considering your specific business context, like we've talked about for the past few episodes. Do you have a highly specialized need? Do you have industry-specific regulations? What are the pros and cons for each option based on what you need, not what somebody else needs?
Right. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of keeping things real OG. I am over 40. So, grab a piece of paper and put pros down one side and cons down the other, and then see which one is longer. Or flip a coin, and when the coin is in the air, you typically know which one you're hoping for.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Flipping a coin is not about the flip of the coin and about chance. It's about revealing what you really want.
That's true. Laura, what's number 3?
Consult with stakeholders. When you do that, you're going to really come out on top. So what you want to do is you want to engage with other key figures in your business to get diverse perspectives and ensure that any decision aligns with broader business strategies. Now, your business might be arranged with a board of directors. You might have a business partner. You might have your spouse weighing in. You might have your kids weighing in or your parents weighing in because they started the business years ago and you inherited it. You could have your C-suite team. There's so many ways that you could do this, but let's say you don't have any of that. You could also ask your team management. If it's just you, I'm glad you listen to this show, but you are the stakeholder. So sit there in the mirror with Stuart Smalley. You're good enough, you're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like you, and you can do this on your own. But if not, consult with other people whose voice really matters to you and they would really want to have a say.
That's what I was about to say. If you're doing this on your own, first of all, good job, because this is tough.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. And second, I hope that you have a community around you of other entrepreneurs or like-minded individuals so that you're able to have these conversations so that you're not kind of echo chambering in your own head, being able to get that outside perspective.
Oh, I just thought of a great resource. For those that are on their own or don't really have a suitable person to speak to, maybe you're just lonely at the top. That happens too. That was me for many years. SCORE, SCORE.org is a wonderful resource, and you can run it by them.
Absolutely.
And it's free.
Yep. There's also Center for Women in Enterprise. It's free to get all kinds of services from them.
Do you have to be in Massachusetts for that?
Nope. No.
Oh, did not know that. That's very cool. Pay attention to that one. I think it's cwe.org.
Something like that.
Yeah, two really amazing nonprofits. Vision has actually done a lot of talks and lectures and donations to CWE over the years. They're really a tremendous organization. And although it is the Center for Women and Enterprise, men are cordially invited as well and always have been. It's just, it was started largely to help women and by women. So that's why it's called that. So men, if you're listening and you're by yourself and you need some support, don't be scared off.
Absolutely. Agreed. Laura, what is number 4?
4. This is a good one. Trial periods and evaluations. So you can consider starting with a small project with an agency to gauge the effectiveness before signing a long-term contract or hiring internally, such as a marketing plan or just the website. And it's a non-committal way to ensure a good decision. In fact, this is the way I bring a lot of clients to our agency, especially the ones that have been burned before or they've never done it before and it's a little scary. I like starting with the marketing plan because it needs to be done anyway, but it's a very limited scope, one-time project, gives us an opportunity to build some trust, get to know me, get to know my team, answer questions, but also like start to feel safe and really just kind of see, is Laura full of crap? Is Vision full of crap? Oh, wow, they're actually really good. Or, should I hire someone internally? I don't know, maybe, but let me see if I can get this one thing done and see how that goes. Maybe if it's a lot easier, I won't have to. There's also such a thing as like temp to hire. That's another opportunity for you to consider if you really want to bring someone on and that is right for you. There are non-committal ways to start, and those are really, really good ways to invest. Here's a great example for you. In the case of a couple of the larger clients that we're working with, they 100% started with a marketing plan, but we had to. It's not like, some clients where they have a very straightforward business and we could actually see the clear path to success. Like a lot of contractors, those are very, very easy businesses to market. But more complicated businesses, particularly when there's a very large budget involved, you need time to emotionally prepare yourself, but also to talk everything through. And that takes hours and hours and hours. And during the course of those hours, expertise is revealed, understanding mutually is revealed, knowledge is shared, at which point, by the end of that marketing plan, it's so clear whether it's a fit or not. You don't have to guess. You don't have to do your pro or con list. It's like a strong yes or a strong no.
Yes, it's a very good non-committal way to kind of dip your toe in the water.
Exactly. Julia, let's have the last one, please.
Yes. So our 5th actionable tip for today's episode is to prepare for flexibility. So keeping in mind that your decision isn't set in stone. I like to say this about marketing in general. You can try something and you can pivot and do something else. But in that same way, deciding to hire an agency or hire internally is also not set in stone. Many businesses find success in employing a hybrid approach. So hiring somebody in-house to deal with some of it, hiring an agency to do the large picture strategy or do highly specific specialized things, leveraging both internal resources and external agencies as needed.
Yeah. Honestly, that is probably one of the more common solutions that we see at companies past 10 million in size. We really see a lot of hybrid solutions. like 1 or 2 people on site, and their job is essentially to serve the agency and help them to be really effective. Also, make sure that they're leaning on the people internally. Hey, get me this. Can you get me that? We got to get this one lined up for an interview and blah, blah, blah. And that person is so valuable internally to the agency, but the agency is so valuable to the person internally because those poor people internally, without exception, do tend to be very overworked, very tired. And by the time the agency shows up, there's a blend of, oh, thank God, and where have you been?
Absolutely.
So it really helps to not burn out your people, because at the end of the day, if you're going to have internal people and you're going to have, the generalist or this one or that one, the worst mistake you could ever make is burn them out, because then they're going to quit.
Yeah.
And if they're supported, guess what? They're not going to want to quit. They're going to like their job. They're going to work really hard for you. And the agency will actually make that person look good and go back to really enjoying their job.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Cool. Well, we wanted to make this one a short episode, and it's really short. Hats off to us. High five. Anyway, thanks for listening. This has been a really fun arc, and we really appreciate you being here. I hope that this last 4 episode series has been super useful to you. We really want to make sure that you make the right decision for you, whatever that is. I have no idea what it is, and this will help you to figure out what is the right next move for your company, your business, your team, and where you want to go. As a loving reminder, the show is sponsored by Vision. We are celebrating our 25th anniversary. I cannot believe I am that old. I started the company when I was just a wee lass all those years ago. And yeah, me and my 8 gray hairs, I earned them, damn it. It's like tinsel. So, this has been a really fun journey. And over the years, we've gotten to help so many different clients, all different types of businesses. And it's been a real pleasure to be able to do it. And everything that we share with you comes from the voice of experience, of the been there, done that. None of this is hypothetical. If we do not have the experience, the t-shirt, the keychain, and the mug, we don't talk about it. So hope this is useful to you. Again, hit us up on our website. If you'd like some help with your marketing, we would be honored to help you, and we'd love to talk to you about it. If you have questions, feedback, do that. And of course, please subscribe, rate, review, tell all your friends. No, seriously, tell all your friends. I don't know what the next series is going to be about, but once Julie and I get in the green room, we're going to dive into that, figure out what exciting topic we're going to dive into. But, you do have some control if you send us an email. I'm just saying. So anywho, Godspeed. We'll see you soon.